In 1965, when Singapore separated from Malaysia, and many families were torn apart, mine was one of them. I am Farooq Abdul Ghafoor, and this is my story.
I don't have much time left. Your father was always traveling, was never at home. Promise me, you'll find your father's grave. Bring him home.
My father passed away even before I was born. I only knew him through photographs. All I knew of him was that he was a textile merchant who had to travel to Malaysia for long periods of time to trade.
Better take a good look at me. By the time you come back, your son would have changed me a lot.
I'm not leaving for 50 years. I'll be back soon. I'll write you a letter every week, promise. Better take good care of my son.
Assalamualaikum, Cik. Ni. Tuan sudah hantar surat ini.
My father kept his promise and sent her a letter every week. A few months later, my father wrote his last letter.
Dear Mariam, there are rumors of separation between Singapore and Malaysia. Don't worry. I'll be back and we will be together soon. We will build our home and family together. Good times are ahead.
My father wasn't wrong about the rumors. News of separation between Singapore and Malaysia affected many families. And mine was no exception. My father passed away in the year 1965, leaving behind a young wife and an unborn child. My mother would leave me with the neighbors while she went looking for him. All she had was this: a death certificate and a lot number of my father's grave. How he died and where he was buried was a mystery. Eventually, my mother got too ill to travel. She never remarried. Even though I never knew my father, yet his presence, it haunts me.
Hello?
Farooq?
Ma, இப்போ என்ன மணி? ஏம்மா தூங்காமே இருக்கீங்க?
அத்தாவே கண்டுபிடிச்சிட்டியா?
இப்போ தான் தேடி வரேன். கொண்டு வரேன்னு சொல்லிட்டேன்ல.
நான் இங்கே தான் இருப்பேன். ஃபோன் பண்ணு.
I made a list of textile factories my father used to visit when he was working. I spent a week checking out each factory, but no luck. I was worried that I would get the same results if I kept on looking. I thought of other places my father would have gone. I tried to put myself in his shoes. I imagine how tired he must have been. All that traveling and walking under the hot sun. Where would he go? Did my father take a break here? A coffee shop just like this one. Did he talk to anyone?
Macam mana, Pakcik, tempat gambar ini?
And that was when I found my first lucky break.
I left the photo at the coffee shop and a message for the uncle. God brought one man to me for 5 minutes and he changed my life. I can never thank him enough. When I was a boy, I remember being hungry all the time. I had only a dirty rag and a shining kid as my worldly possessions. And I remember this customer.
You! What? You better clean this properly.
Even though I knew the job was low class, I still felt pride at the job well done. But my customer
Hurry.
felt otherwise.
Sir, 5 cents.
What? For putting dirt on my shoes, you want 5 cents? Go away.
Sir, please. I need money for food.
Go away.
Sir, please.
Stop bothering me. Get lost.
My only means of livelihood was thrown away. I had no choice.
Hey boy, what are you doing?
And then a kind angel stepped in.
What are you trying to do?
The customer threw my cloth on the track. Without the cloth, I can't feed my family.
Here, take this. Now you have enough cloth to shine all the shoes in the world. But if you're smart enough, you use this for something else.
Like what?
I had hoped to return this to the most selfless man I've ever met. The next best thing, I guess, would be to pass it back to his son.
An old receipt from a shoe shop in Malaysia. I told the staff my quest to find my father's grave. My father had a pair of baby shoes handmade for me. His firstborn. I could not wait to show my mother, but she passed away even before I could show her. My mother passed away before I could bring my father home. I knew I could not rest until I fulfilled my promise to her. I narrowed it down to one last possible location. the last town where my father visited to collect the baby shoes. It was my last hope of finding my father. I lost all sense of time. I saw tombstone after tombstone, names of mothers, daughters, and sons, but never my father's name. I was on the verge of giving up. I let out a silent prayer for a clue, a sign, and then it happened. In the end, I didn't know how my father passed away. But what was more important is that now I know who he was. He was a devoted husband, a kind worker, and a family man. I think my mother sent me on this journey to discover his legacy of values. Values that would define me in the years to come. Self-reliance, love of family, and confidence in our future. Ma, in life, you could not be with my father. In death, you are now with him. I am the son of Sheikh Abdul Ghafoor, and I've brought him to Singapore, his home.